So this gentleman came in with thumb pain, and the easiest thing we could think about is that, he might have CMC arthritis. We have to think about, could it be trigger finger, could it be tendonitis, all sorts of things. But based on how someone describes their pain is what triggers you to start thinking about where to look. The hand always tells a story. If you take a look how well developed his muscle is over here. He actually thought he was swollen because compared to this side, but this thumb just has more muscle. He's right hand dominant, but he's got right shoulder issues, so he actually can't lift. So what happens is a shoulder gives you a lot of power in the rest of your arm, and if you don't have power in your shoulders, you're not going to have power in your arm. So you're going to use the thinner muscles a little bit less. So it's just an overdevelopment. One of the tests I did was just a grind test. So you take the metacarpal, you grind it into the trapezium, and you see if it causes pain, or you can hear for crepitus. He didn't say anything that says, oh, my finger got stuck and I have to unstick it. So that's really the only reason why I would look at carpal, look at trigger thumb. But a lot of his pain was when I hold something, it hurts. But anything small, it doesn't hurt. So usually people with CMC arthritis, it's the small stuff that they cannot do. But the big stuff can't do either. But he only had one problem. So that's what made me think, okay, maybe it is a CMC joint, but maybe it's a joint alignment. So if the bone is fallen, so the thumb likes to fall into the palm. So if the metacarpal falls into the palm, then it's no longer aligned. So every time you open your thumb, the joints kind of go at a different angle and jam into it, right? So it doesn't feel good. And so what caused that? Well, sometimes muscle malalignment, right? Muscle imbalances causes that. So then you have to look at thinner muscles, right? So intrinsic muscles, muscles that start in the hand and end in the hand. And then you have to look at extrinsic muscles, muscles that start out of the hand and end into the hand. One thing that we did was we just worked a lot on the radial side wrist positioning, right? So just looking at how the wrist bones moved. Then I went and I checked scaphoid, lunate, hamate, trapeziform. So I looked at the radial, the middle, and the ulnar side of the wrist. It didn't feel terrible, but it can feel kind of tight on one side over the other. So this side is tighter than this side. This one's looser. And I also can just work on repositioning. So if I reposition the thumb back in, and then I work the muscles and tissues around it, stretching the thinner muscles, paying very close attention to how I'm manipulating and manually treating this area, it can really help alleviate the tension, but also stretching the intrinsics of the hand.